Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson on recapping standard form. Okay, so we've done plenty of this, not only in year 11 but in year 10 as well. So we're just going to recap mainly adding, subtracting and multiplying, and then we will briefly look at dividing standard form as well. Okay, so here's today's starter anyway, so just a bit of a mixture of things that I think we should be comfortable doing by now. So pause, have a go, press play when you're ready. Okay, welcome back then. So a bit of a mixture, like I said. So sharing £48 in a ratio 3 to 5, first of all. So step one, remember, is to add the ratios together, which will give us 8. Then we should be dividing what we're sharing by our total ratio. Okay, so that gives us 6. And then that means, remember, that one share is £6. So 3 shares is 3 lots of 6, which is £18. And then 5 shares is 5 lots of 6, which is £30, and if we add those together we get the 48 that we started with, so we're assuming that that's right. Okay, question 2, calculate 2/7 of 84. So this is a fraction of a quantity, look, so we just got to divide by the bottom times by the top. So 84 divided by 7 is 12, 12 times by 2 is 24, so that's your answer there, and those are your answers for the first one. Okay, increase £82 by 15%. Well, first of all, we need to find out what 15% is, don't we? So we're going to do 10% and 5% and add them together. Okay, so 10% is £8.20. Remember, we divide by 10, don't we? 5% is £4.10 because that's half of that amount. So if we add those together, that's £12.30 for 15%. Okay, but that's not the end of the answer, is it? Because we're increasing by that amount. So we've got to do 82 plus £12.30, which is £94 and 30 pence. Okay, so that should be fairly straightforward as well. And the last one, okay, whenever we see the word estimate or estimate, however you want to say it, we've got to round each number to make it as easy as possible, remember, to one significant figure. Okay, every single one of them. You can't just round one of them and leave the others. Okay, so 3.8 to one significant figure becomes 4. 11, be careful because so many people would just leave this as 11. Okay, but rounding that to one significant figure actually makes it 10 instead, and 5.25 becomes 5. Okay, and then we can work that out. So 4 times 10 is 40. Remember, the fraction line means divide, doesn't it? So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So that would be our estimated answer there. Okay, moving on then. So I would copy this first example down, please, and then press play when you're ready to go through it. Okay, so hopefully remember when we're doing this is it's a similar sort of steps every single time. Okay, step 1 is to write them in normal form because they're in standard form at the moment. Step 2 is to do whatever it says in the middle, whether that's add, subtract, multiply or divide. Step 3 is to change it back into an answer in standard form. Okay, so 4 times 10 to the power of 6, okay, means 4 with 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 10 to the power of 4 means 8 with 4 zeros. I'm just going to put them underneath here, look, because we want to add them up in the column method anyway, don't we? And if you want to fill those gaps in with zeros, you can. Now we're just going to do the column method. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 8, 0, and 4. Okay, so that is our answer, 4,080,000. We just need to write that in standard form now. So remember, when we write the answer in standard form, it's always going to be a number between 1 and 10 times by power of 10. So 10 to the power of something. Okay, so our number between 1 and 10 will be 4.08 because we have to go up to the end of the 8, don't we? So there's only zeros left. And when we do our power now, be careful, it's not to the power of 4 because there's 4 zeros on the end, okay? What I always tend to do is put the 2 decimal points in. So the decimal point is at the end at the moment. We're saying it needs to be here for it to be in standard form. So then just count the digits in between. There's 6 digits in between. So that should be to the power of 6, okay? So write it in normal form, add, subtract, multiply or divide, and then write it in standard form afterwards. Okay, same thing for this one, please. So press pause and copy this one down, and then press play when you're ready. So for this one, we're subtracting now instead, but still the same thing. Okay, so in normal form, 7.6 times 10 to the power of 8 is not 76 with 8 zeros on the end, okay? Because this movement of 8 times on the decimal point, we've got to use one of those 8 to jump over the 6, haven't we? So really this number will be 76, and then with 7 zeros on the end, because we've used one of them to jump over the 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're subtracting this time because that's what it says. And 9.23 times 10 to the power of 5 in a similar sort of way as the last one. Okay, out of these 5 movements of the point, 2 of them are being used to get to here after the 3. So there should only be 3 left then. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 zeros on the end like that, and then 9, 2, 3. Okay, and I've lined them up sensibly in the column method. Now we're going to subtract, remember. Okay, so 0, 0, 0. And this is where we get stuck. Okay, we can't do 0 take away 3. So we're going to have to borrow all the way from this column, look. Okay, but remember, when you're borrowing, it can only be done one column at a time. So borrowing 1 from this one to make it 5 makes this one 10. But then we're going to borrow from this one anyway. So that'll be 9 to make this one 10. But then we're going to borrow from that one, so make it 9 to make this one 10. Then we're going to borrow from that one to make it 9, make this one 10. Okay, so I know we all know that anyway. I don't want to treat you as if like you're in year 7, but I just want to check that we understand that's what we should be doing. Now it should work. Okay, so 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 2 is 7. 9 take away 9 is 0. 9 take away 0 is 9. 5 take away 0 is 5. 7 take away 0 is 7. Okay, so we've got our answer now, which is 759,077,000. We write that in standard form. Okay, so the only way our number can be between 1 and 10 is 7.59077. Okay, remember the end point of this first section in our answer, it has to be until there's only zeros left. All right, and we can't change the order of the numbers. So we can't just ignore this 0 in the middle. It's got to be 7.59077, okay? Multiplied by 10 to the power of, and then remember, we're not just looking at the zeros at the end. This is where the decimal point is at the moment in the answer. This is where we're saying it needs to move. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits in between. So it's 10 to the power of 8 on the end. Okay? Right, just one more of those then. Slightly harder again, this one, so press pause, copy it down, press play when you're ready. Hopefully you've noticed then for this one that we're talking about negative powers. Look, both of the powers are minuses on this one. Okay, so that means, remember, if it's a minus power, it's always going to be a small number, so 0 point something. And all it means in terms of the movement of our decimal point is we're moving it to the left rather than to the right. Okay, so 4.5 times 10 to the power of 4 is actually 0.00045. Okay, so the point is there at the moment, isn't it, which is here, and this minus 4 means it moves back 4 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's right. Okay, then we're adding this time because that's what it says in the middle, so 6.1 times 10 to the power of minus 2 means this decimal point is going to move back twice. So it should just be 0.061. It was here, look, in between the 6 and the 1. We've moved it back twice. Now we can add using the column method. Okay, the decimal stays where it is. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. Then we get 1 in that column, 6 in that column, 0 there, 0 there. Okay, so we've got 0.06145. Obviously, this is a small number now, starting with 0 point something. So when it comes to us doing standard form, that should tell you straight away it's going to be a negative power. Okay, so our number between 1 and 10 is 6.145. So we're moving the point to there, look. There's a gap of 2 in between, isn't it? So that's 10 to the power of minus 2. So 6.145 times 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, so that's only adding and subtracting there. All right, we'll look at multiplying in a separate little task in a minute. So make sure you've got those 3 examples written down, okay? So refer back to if you get stuck, and I'm now going to show you the main task. Okay, so press pause then, please. Have a go at this main task, and then press play when you're ready to look at the answers. Okay, welcome back then. So here are the answers for the first task. Okay, so I would press pause again, just have a look at the answers, jot down any corrections that you need to, and then press play when you're ready to move on, please. Okay, now that you've checked those answers, let's look at a few examples now for multiplying. Okay, so all of the steps are going to be the same, other than instead of us adding in between, we're going to be multiplying. Okay, so step one is still going to be to write the numbers in normal form. So let's do that. Okay, 2 times 10 to the power of 2 just means 2 with 2 zeros on the end, doesn't it? Okay, and we're going to multiply that by 3 times 10 to the power of 6, which means 3 with 6 zeros. Okay, so from there, then, I don't want you to overcomplicate what we're doing, okay? The best way that I would suggest to do this is just take a look at the numbers that are not zeros, okay? So we've got a 2 and a 3 there that are not zeros. Multiply those together first, and then we can just add the zeros on at the end, okay? Because 200 times by 3 million is exactly the same as doing 2 times 3 and just adding the same amount of zeros, okay? So 2 times 3 obviously is 6, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros to add on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, don't really need to worry about what that number actually is, because when we write it in standard form anyway, it's going to be 6 times by 10 to the power of 8. Okay, remember this can be 6.0 as well, because technically we're putting the decimal point there because it was there originally, wasn't there? So if we count the digits in between, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 6 times 10 to the power of 8 for that one. Okay, the next example then, slightly more complicated, but still exactly the same method. So write them as normal numbers first, okay? 3.6 times 10 to the power of 3 is 3600, because remember, out of these 3 movements, one of them is to jump over the 6. We're multiplying that then by 2.1 times 10 to the power of 4, which is 21 and 3 zeros. Because this movement of 4, 1 is to jump over the 1, so we got 3 left. And we do exactly the same. Just concentrate on the numbers that are not zeros. Okay, multiply those together first, then we can add the zeros on the end afterwards. No big deal. Okay, if you need to use the box method to add those together, that's no problem. 36 times by 21 is 756. Okay, use the box method to work that out. Then we've got 5 zeros here that we haven't used, so let's add these 5 zeros on the end. Again, we don't really need to worry about what this number is because we're going to write it in standard form anyway. So 7.56 times by, okay, it's a decimal point at the end. We're moving it to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits in between. So 7.56 times 10 to the power of 7. Okay, and then just one more for multiplying. So when you're ready to do this one, then press play. So obviously it looks a little bit different here, but remember that anything squared means times by itself, doesn't it? And this is just a way that it's written in a test sometimes to try and confuse you. This means 4.2 times 10 to the power of 4 times by itself. So it's the same as writing 4.2 times 10 to the power of 4 times by 4.2 times 10 to the power of 4. So that's what we'll do, okay? So 4.2 times 10 to the power of 4 in normal form is 42000. So we're multiplying that by 42000. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing. Just concentrate on the digits that are not zeros first, multiply them, and then put 6 zeros on the end. Okay, so just in case some of you need a little bit of a reminder on the box method. It's not difficult to do though. So 4 times 4 is 16, and add your 2 zeros. 4 times 2 is 8, add a 0. 4 times 2 is 8, add a 0. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so that gives you 1764 when you add them together. Okay, and then we've got our zeros here, look, to add on. So 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't worry about what that number is, because we know we're going to have to write it in standard form. So 1.764. Okay, decimal point is moving to there. From there, count the digits in between. There's 9. So that's 10 to the power of 9. Okay, So still do the same sort of thing, just multiply in between, and if you're unsure with the bigger numbers, use the box method. Okay. Okay, now that we've got those examples down, then here is the next task. Okay, so similar sort of thing. Press pause, have a go at the questions, and then press play when you're ready to come back and see the answers. Okay, welcome back then. So the answers here for task 2, all right, are all here. So just again, probably a good idea to press pause here, just have a quick check over your answers, fill in any mistakes that you may need to, and press play when you're ready to move on then. Okay. Okay, so there were 2 checking questions, one slightly harder than the other. Okay, so we'll start off with a slightly easier one now. So the only thing that we haven't covered yet in this lesson is divide in standard forms. Okay, but it's all done in exactly the same way. We're going to write the numbers as normal numbers, then we're going to divide, then we're going to write it in standard form afterwards. So I want you to have a go at this first. Okay, so press pause, have a go at what you think you would do for this one, and press play when you're ready to go through it. Okay, welcome back then. So we'll leave it as a fraction as it is, okay, but let's write them as normal numbers first. So 7.5 times 10 to the power of 6 is 7, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, okay? Then we're dividing that by 1.5 times 10 to the power of 3, which is 1, 5, and 2 zeros, okay? Now, the reason I ask you to leave it like this in terms of a fraction is because what we can do now is we can simplify this fraction just by taking as many zeros off as we can. So basically what we can do is however many zeros we've got on the bottom of the fraction, we can cancel those off the top. So technically what we're doing here, look, is we're dividing the bottom by 100 to get rid of 2 zeros. So that means we'll divide the top by 100 as well. So we end up getting 7, 5, and then 3 zeros. So 75,000 divided by 15. Okay. Remember, this is what we call an equivalent fraction in there. So doing this number, okay, so 7.5 million divided by 1500 is the same as doing 75,000 divided by 15. Okay. So similar to how we worked it out with the multiplying, okay, I just wanted to concentrate on the numbers that are not zeros, okay, using the box method if you bus stop method if you need to, or just by knowing your 15 times table. It really doesn't matter which way around you do it, okay. 75 divided by 15 is 5, okay. So this answer would be 5 with 3 zeros on the end, which is 5,000, isn't it? So to write that in standard form then, it's 5 times 10 to the power of 3. So you should still write your answer you should still write the numbers out in normal form, sorry, okay, as a fraction, and then just think about cancelling as many zeros off top and bottom as you can, right? And then just look at the normal whole numbers, so the numbers that are not zeros, do the dividing, add the zeros back on, change it into standard form, okay? Little bit tougher this one then, but I'd like you to have a go at it anyway, okay? See what you can do. It's good to challenge yourself. So press pause, have a go at this one, press play when you want to go through it. Okay, welcome back then. So we're still going to write them in normal form, yeah? So the top one would be 3, 9, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros, okay? And the bottom is a negative power, okay? So that's going to make it a small number, isn't it? So that should be 0.03. Okay, so when it comes to us now making an equivalent fraction, we don't want to be dividing by 0.03. Really, we would prefer to divide by 3, wouldn't we? So if we were changing 0.03 into 3, we'd have to multiply by 100. Okay, I keep saying that the words equivalent fraction because to make this equivalent now, we have to do the same on the top, don't we? So at the moment, we've got 3, 9, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. If we multiply that by 100, it'll become 9 zeros, won't it? So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it may look a little bit messy at the moment, but remember now, when it comes to our dividing, we're only going to look at the numbers that are not zeros. Okay, so 39 divided by 3 is 13. Okay, so this answer will be 13 with 9 zeros on the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we can write that in standard form. So 1.3, Okay, and then there are 10 digits in between those points then, so 1.3 times 10 to the power of 10. Okay, so well done if you've got anything close to that, because that one was a little bit tougher. But that's the end of the lesson today, recapping standard form. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hopefully see you soon.